Hello everyone. In today's video, I am going to teach you how to make this 3D layer cake topper. It is going to have the shaker, and I'm also going to teach you how to do the removable stick. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So for this project, I am going to need an acrylic stick, the koala photo matte paper, the 48 pound, the foil cardstock, clear acetate sheet, and then the color cardstock. The one that I recommend is by the brand Basil, and you can find this at Joann's. And I'm also going to use these Barely Art cubies. I'm using the Barely Art glue and also this beacon glue. All of these items can be found on my Amazon storefront, and the link is listed down in the bio. Once I have my Cricut design space open, I am going to select new project, and I am going to upload my images that I'm using. Everything that I'm using today, I found it on Google. For the banner, I just typed in ribbon banner SVG, circle scallop SVG, party hat SVG, this sprinkles background, and I found the donut SVG here. I'm just gonna download everything and upload them. For the circle scallop, I don't need this outer ring here, so I'm just going to click on it and it's going to delete. And then for the donut, I don't need this white background, so I'm going to click on it. And I'm also going to go in here and delete this outer part, and then also like the sprinkles. Now I'm just going to select everything and add to canvas. For now, it doesn't matter how big or how small things are. I'm just going to click on them, and I'm just going to drag them here to the left corner so I can work with them later. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a circle for my shapes. And this circle, I am going to make it 5 inches. I'm going to create an internal offset, and this one I'm going to make it negative 0.510. So now I should have this gray ring and then this black circle in the middle. I am going to grab those two shapes without moving them. I'm going to hit slice. Now I can remove these and delete them. I'm going to create another internal offset, and this one is going to be negative 0.139. So now you should see that I have 2 rings. This first one here in the back, I am going to change this to the color purple. And this one here, I am going to change it to the color white. Next, I'm going to grab the sprinkles background, and I'm going to bring it down here so I have space to work with. I'm going to select another circle, and this one, same thing, I'm going to change it to 5 inches. So I need the circle to be inside the background. Now I'm going to select the background and the circle, and I am going to slice those images. This dark gray here at the top, I am going to keep it because I'm going to use that as my acetate. I'm going to move this up as well. This, I'm going to delete it because I no longer need it. My acetate, I'm going to send it to the back. And then my sprinkles background, I'm just going to send it backward. So I want my rings to show up on top of that. Align and center. Now I need my scallop circle, and this one I am going to make it 6 inches wide. I'm going to change this to the color yellow. So I'm going to grab everything here, align and center. Now I'm going to grab the circle scallop, and I'm going to create an offset, and this one is going to be 0.065. and I'm going to change that to the color purple. Next, I am going to grab my banner and I'm going to bring it to the front. And I'm just going to adjust the width and the height how I want it to be. Okay, I am going to duplicate the banner. And I am going to create an offset for this one as well. The reason that I'm going to create an offset is because these pieces are individually, but I need something on the back to hold them. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to glue them. So I'm going to select this banner and I am going to create an offset of 0.065. Apply. And I'm going to change that to the color white. And this top layer, I am going to choose the color pink. I'm going to put this to the side. So I grab everything and center horizontally. I do want to bring this down, so I'm just going to adjust it. Okay, and now in order for me to make layers, I am going to grab this piece here, the white one, and I am going to duplicate it by the layers that I have. So if you see here, I have a white layer, purple, yellow, and another purple one. So that is 4 layers. So I'm going to create 4 layers. I'm just going to color them the color that I am using. That way I can be coordinated here. So this one's yellow. This one is purple. And this one here is white. I'm going to say align and center. And I'm going to align them with the binder that I already have. So I can just grab all of this, align, and center horizontally. Now I want to make sure that I weld the pieces correctly with the right color. Keep in mind that once you weld, you cannot undo the weld. So I'm going to grab my white banner with my white ring, combine, and weld. Now I'm going to grab the purple banner with the purple ring, combined, and weld. I'm going to bring this purple backward again. Grab the yellow banner, and I'm going to weld it with the circle scallop. Combined and weld. So I'm going to bring the yellow circle back. I'm going to grab the purple scallop and I'm going to weld it with the purple banner. So I'm just going to bring everything back how it was. So now as you see, we have this white part, purple, yellow, and then another purple. Now the part with the banner that was sitting at the front, I'm just going to arrange and bring to front. So if you see here, I have 2 pieces. I have the pink piece, and then I have that extra white part that I need. Next, I'm going to create the donut. So I'm just going to move here to the right in order for me to work. For this first donut, I'm going to change it to the color blue. I am going to duplicate and I am going to hit contour on one of them, hide out contour, and I'm just going to click the circle here in the middle. So now if you see it came out like this, I am going to change to the color white, arrange, send to the back, align, and center. So if you see here, you're going to get the white filling and the sprinkles are going to be white. In order for me to make this easier so it looks like I have different sprinkles instead of me gluing one sprinkle at a time, what I can do is I'm going to duplicate this white offset. I'm going to hit contour. I'm going to remove the white filling and And I'm just going to choose different sprinkles so they can be a different color. So now this layer, I am going to choose an orange color. So I'm going to put this over and I'm going to send it to the back. I'm going to send it backwards, I'm sorry. So now you see that it looks like I have different color sprinkles. I'm going to do align and center. And I'm going to bring it down here. So I make sure it doesn't move. I can hit group here. And then I'm going to make this one 1.5. I'm going to duplicate it because I want to make a different one. Hit on group at the top. And then this blue here, I'm going to change that to the color pink. I am going to delete this orange layer because I am going to choose the different sprinkles on the next one. So I'm going to grab the white background, I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to go to contour. I'm going to deselect this piece down here and I'm just going to choose different sprinkles. So now this layer, I am going to change it to the color orange. I'm going to put it over and send backward. I'm going to grab my white one and I'm going to just go ahead and send it to the back. Align and center. So I'm going to grab this layer here and I'm going to group it. And I am just going to place it on top of here. And for this one, I'm going to make it a 1.4. I also found a free donut SVG here on Cricut Design Space. So I'm just going to type in donut, do the check mark where it says free, and it's this one down here. This one I am going to do the color orange. Same thing, I'm going to duplicate it. And I am going to select this piece to be white. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. Hit contour. Hide all contour. And I'm going to remove this piece here in the middle. And I'm going to choose different sprinkles. Now this layer, I am going to put the color blue. I'm going to put it over and send backward. And the white piece, I am going to send it to the back. Align, center, and group. Now I'm going to move over here and I'm just going to put it over. And this one I'm going to choose 1.4. Okay, now my design should look like this. Okay, so now my design should look like this. I'm going to go over here and I am going to duplicate this party hat 3 times. On the first one, I only need the cone shape, so I'm going to delete all the little pieces here at the top. This first cone, I'm going to go ahead and hide all contour. And I'm going to change this to the color gray because it's going to be the foil color. The second one, same thing, I'm going to remove this small pieces up here. And this one, I'm going to change it to the color orange. Now this one, I only want to be left with the small details up here. So I'm going to delete the cone. And I want this to be touching because when I put it over, they're going to be floating and nothing's going to be catching them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the top layer. I'm going to hit undo and I'm going to change the height. So it's going to be 1.5. And these other ones, I'm just going to delete them because I'm going to modify them. So now I'm just stuck with one. At this one, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to rotate. And again, I want them to be touching in the middle. So this piece here, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to be moving it in here. That way they can be touching. The top piece I'm going to duplicate. And then one of them I'm going to duplicate it, but on this one I'm going to rotate it again. Hit duplicate again. Okay, so since I like the way that looks, I'm going to grab all of these, combine, and hit weld. This one I'm going to change it to the color pink. And I'm going to put it up here. Now I'm going to select this cone here and I'm going to hit rotate. And I'm going to change the size. So I want it to be up here. So I'm going to group these. And I think about right here looks good. Okay, now I need to bring in my font. So for this, I am going to go to thefont.com. And the font that I am using is called Ananda. All fonts on this website are free, so you just have to go through them and find the one that you like. I like this one, Ananda, for this theme here, so I'm just going to download that one. So now I'm going to go to text. And I am going to system, and I'm typing that name, Ananda. That was the name of the font. And I am changing this to the name Kelsey. For this one, I am going to do combine and unite. And I am changing this to the color pink. I'm going to create an offset, and this one is going to be 0.065. Hit apply. And I am going to change that to the color white. Select these two. Create another offset of 0.065. And this one is going to be the color yellow. Same thing again, create another offset. And this one is going to be the color silver. I'm going to move this down here. And I'm just going to adjust it the way that I want it. Now I'm going to do another text. And I'm going to make 3 separate ones. So the first one is going to be the word donut. The second one is going to be the word grow. And the third one is going to be the word up. Now I'm just going to move these words here so they can be touching. I'm just going to play around with them. So the D and the O are going to be touching the G. So I think about there looks okay. I'm going to select my text, do combine, and hit unite. So now I have one piece. This one I'm going to change it to the color pink. I'm going to select my font and I'm going to create another offset. For this one, it's going to be 0.048. And that one, I'm going to choose the color white. Select, create another offset, and it's going to be 0.048. And this one is going to be the color yellow. Select, create another offset, and this is going to be the color gray. So now I have 4 layers. I'm going to select and hit group, and I'm going to bring it here in the middle, and I'm just going to play around with the size so it can fit inside here. I'm going to make it smaller so it's not touching the donut portion. So I think about there looks okay. Now I need to create another layer so my cake stick can be hiding and it's not visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this shape here and I'm going to hit duplicate. I'm going to delete my party hat, the donuts, and the name. So I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to hit combine and weld. So now I'm stuck with this here. I'm gonna change this to the color white. I'm gonna bring it back here, and now I'm gonna send this to the back. Now that I'm okay with this design, I am going to select everything, and I'm just going to change the height and the width. Usually what I recommend is 1 inch smaller than what the cake is going to be. So if the cake, the top layer is going to be 8 inches wide, I need my cake topper to be 7 inches wide. So now I have my cake 7 inches wide. So from here, I'm just going to send everything to cut. Now that I have all my pieces, I am going to glue the small ones. So I'm going to separate these big ones out of the way. I am going to start by doing the banner first. I'm also going to keep up the design open on Cricut Design Space. That way I have a reference to go by. So I'm just going to glue here. Another favorite thing I like to use is this Pick Me Up tool by the brand Silhouette. And it helps me pick up these small pieces. That way I can lay them easier. Now that I have the banner done, I'm going to set it off to the side, and I'm going to work on the donut part. And these actually did it with the pink glitter. So I'm just going to glue this slightly. Now I'm going to grab foamies, and I'm going to go ahead and stick him here. I'm going to try to keep it within the white border. That way it doesn't see through when I flip it over. These small squares, I get them from Dollar Tree. So there are some that I'm going to have to cut smaller. And it's just because I don't want it to show on the back. Okay, so I just placed some small pieces, and I'm just going to remove off the backings. Now this portion, I'm going to go ahead and try to align it. Once I like the placement, I will go ahead and press it down so the foam tape can stick to the cardstock. And then again from here, I am going to lay again some more foamies. The purpose of the foamies is to give it height so it looks 3D. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and remove the backings. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and align, press down, and now you give that 3D effect. For now, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and I'm going to work on the name. And same thing, I'm just going to glue the glitter to the white, and then from there just add foamies. Okay, next I'm going to do the party hat, and then this one I'm just going to glue down to the foil cardstock. And this small piece I'm just going to go ahead and put glue in the back, and I'm gonna glue it right here at the top. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put it to the side, and I'm going to start with the donuts. I always want the white part to be at the very bottom, so that means that this blue one here would go at the top. And I'm just going to put glue here. Okay, so one donut is down, and then I have to do the rest. Again, same thing, I want the white part to be at the bottom. Okay, so now I have my small pieces done, and I'm going to go ahead and do the acetate next. So I'm going to grab the strips from the Barely Art cubies. It's going to be these strips here. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and bend them to give it some shape, because if I just lay them flat on the paper, it's actually going to move my paper up. So I'm just going to go ahead and align the foam tape with the paper, and I'm going to go all around the edge. This piece here, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. One thing that I recommend so your glitter and your sequins stay in the shaker is you can glue here where these tabs open, where there's a gap. So just put a small amount of hot glue, just enough so it can close that gap and it can stick. And then from here, all I like to do is just fill it up with some glitter, sequins, whatever your choice is. From here, I'm going to go ahead and place my acetate sheet down. What you can do is you can either clean it with rubbing alcohol, or you can clean it with window cleaner. I'm not going to clean it just because I like the glitters, the small fine glitter. I like it to stick to the acetate. So just grabbing it by the edges, I'm going to go ahead and place it down here. I'm going to make sure that it's secure from the end so it's glued enough. Okay, so that's how the shaker part comes out. I am going to grab my yellow piece and I'm going to go ahead and put a beacon glue on this one. The reason I like to put beacon glue on this is because I like to move it around just so I can get it even where I want it to be. This glue does not dry as fast, so you're able to maneuver it. So that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this purple part here and I'm going to put glue on this edge right here. But I am going to add those foamy strips that I used earlier for the shaker part. And I'm just going to go ahead and add them here at the bottom to give it some height. Next, I'm going to grab this white piece here, and this one I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. I just want to make sure that here at the bottom, I'm gluing the banner equally. That way it can sit flush. Next, I am going to add foamies. And this is going to be the foamies by Dollar Tree. It's these rectangle ones here. And I'm just going to lay them across. To give it extra height, I am going to put down more foamies on this side. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and lay this over on the back. So it should be looking like this. Now this white piece from earlier, I'm going to put my acrylic stick here in the middle. I'm just going to go ahead and try to measure it on my mat. That way it can be in the middle. If you want to make your own removable stick, I'm going to show you how you can do it with foamies. Just make sure that you place down your acrylic stick where you want it to be. Just make sure that this end here at the bottom is sticking at least 4 inches. If not, you can do 3.5. So I'm going to place one of the foamies on top to keep it secure. And I'm going to go ahead and place them on the edges as well. Now if you see, there's going to be a gap, and that's where your acrylic stick is going to go. I'm going to remove it for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and place more foamies. Okay, now that I have this done, I'm going to go ahead and place this layer on top. And again, I want to make sure that the bottom aligns. Okay, now that I have my white piece, the purple and the yellow, I'm going to go ahead and glue down the other pieces here. So for the donut part, I am going to glue it down with the burly art. I want the name to stand out a little bit more out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and place some foamies here. Even though I have the foamies here, I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue, that way I can make sure it sticks to the cardstock. And same thing with the party hat, I'm gonna add a foamy here so it can pop out just a bit. And I'm gonna use the small foamy from Beverly Art, and this is the extra thick one. I'm just going to add a small dot of glue. And I'm gonna place it right there. And the last part, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue down these donuts. And I'm only gonna put glue at the bottom because I don't want it to be oozing out through the back side. So I'm just gonna put it down here. To make sure I give my donuts height, I'm just gonna go ahead and add one of the cubies back here. Okay, so I placed one of the cubies here, and I'm gonna go ahead and lay down the donut again. It's gonna be the blue one. And I'm gonna lay another cubie here, that way I can place down the other one. You can place another cubie here, that way it can give it more support, and it's gonna be here in the middle. Okay, so this is how the cake topper turned out. You can see the shaker, the removable stick, and you can see all the layering here at the bottom. If you find this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any other recommendations of another video you want to see, please leave them down in the comments below. Other than that, thank you for watching.